Today we're going to be showing you how to put Z06 vents on a C7 Corvette.
Hi, I'm Jen and you're watching the Corvette channel.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott, this is Terry, this is John, and we are going to be showing you a video today about doing some stuff on John's car. But before we got started with that, we're going to be giving a little bit of a recognition to a young man by the name of Preston Sharp that has, it just came to our attention that this is what he's doing, and he's doing stuff for the veterans, and we just think it's really great of what he's doing. I think it's an honorable thing that what he's doing, and so we just wanted to make you guys aware of it if you didn't already know about it. So we just wanted to be able to give this young man some recognition.
Preston, my name's Terry Thompson. I'm a Vietnam vet. I want to thank you for what you do for us and what you're doing now. It's greatly appreciated, not even by myself, but for every veteran that's in here. You're doing a great job, and please never stop. And I wish other people would do the same as you do. I thank you once again, Preston, very much for what you do. Thank you.
Please help support this young man and maybe donate some money to help him.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks a lot. Now hopefully you enjoy the video.
Finally.
Okay, so we need to open the doors. We're going to open that up, and we've got to remove these 3 screws right here. Okay, so we're going to remove those. Now, you don't want to have your screw gun set real strong. You want to make sure that it's loose, so you don't, when you go to put these screws back together, that you're not stripping them out. Then we're going to go ahead and pop the trunk. And we're going to remove these upper 4 screws. These are all T15s. All right. So now we are loose, right? So now the only thing that we have to do now is we're literally going to grab this fender and we're going to pull it out. You can see right here the red fender is going underneath this rubber trim. So we're just going to pull it out. You can see that it's moving like that. Okay, now I have not come across any of these that has done this, but I've been told that sometimes in some of the earlier years they would use a lot of extra glue. Now mine was a 14 when I did mine. I didn't run into that, but if you run into it and it's not flexing like this, you want to be careful and go very slow and pull the glue. It'll be a sticky kind of glue, but it will come loose. But just don't reef on it because you could, again, break the fender, okay? So you're going to pull this loose, just like so, just like that. You can see how easy that came out. So now that we've got our screws out of the top and on the side here in the door, we're going to go ahead, and if you have somebody that can help you and they want to hold this fender back for you like that so you can get your hand in, that's great. I'm going to use it's a hockey puck of all things. We use these for spacers when we're jacking the cars up. And I'm just going to put that up inside here. It's not going to hurt the fender any. Just kind of gives it a little bit of pride out so I can get to it. Now these have, this particular fender here or the vent has an 8mm nut here, 1 here in the corner and 2 up at this end here. So you've just got to get in here. You got to use a little finesse of being able to get your hand inside to be able to get these nuts loose. You want to try to be very careful, especially of this particular one back here. This little guy is, if you drop it, it will go down into the vent. It wouldn't hurt anything, but you would end up having to find another screw. So you want to be careful. Okay, so there is right here where this is at, you'll feel it when you get in here, but there's a there's the vent itself that is kind of in your way with this wrench. The two front ones, there's nothing in the way, but this one there is a little bit. Almost got this one now. All right, we finally got one loose. Now you can see what those will look like, right? It's got a little spot you can get your finger on. Typically, the ones we'll be able to grab and spin it like that. This is where the wrench is at, and then you've got your washer all built into that little guy. A lot of these vent kits, they come with their own bolts, but I always like reusing the factory bolt. Okay, so we're just going to move up to the front now. Pull this one loose. And you can see what I'm talking about. I've already got this one almost out already. That back one is going to be the one that you're going to have a little bit of issue with. Okay. And one more here. All right. Now we got our 3 screws. Okay. We can set our wrench out of the way here. Now, most of the time these will just pop up and out. Sometimes they won't. You'll find that there's a little press clip that's in there, and you can press those with your fingers. You'll be able to find those along the way, and then the vent will come out. There we go. And there you go. So now we're done with this one, and we can put that off to the side. You can see here, you can see right here, John, there's your 2 bolts here, your bolt back here, okay? And what I was fighting against, guys, is like right over here is this back part of this plastic vent. And when you're putting that nut in, it just gets in the way, okay? So that's what you're up against, okay? Because you're pulling this out to be able to get your hand in there, which moves this vent right where it doesn't need to be. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this vent in. Just like that, just like so. Make sure this snaps in place like that. Okay, so now it's nice and tight in there. Now those little clips that I was talking about, let me show you that if I don't hit myself. You can see they've got some little clips here, right? Now, what I have found on some of these, that these little guys, these always clip in place, but these little guys, sometimes they'll be a little thick. And so what will happen is it'll make it so this doesn't fit flush like this. So if you fit this in here and it's not flush, then before you try to bolt it down, because it'll never, once you put the screws in, you'll never be able to adjust it. So you want to make sure that you pull this back out immediately and make sure that you either file those little ears down just a little bit so it'll clear, or you work it into the fender so it sits just like this, nice and flush, before you start to bolt it down, okay? All right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's start putting these little guys back together. And again, you want to be careful that you're not dropping these screws down in here, or these nuts. Now that I said that, I hope I don't do it. So now if you guys can get these fairly finger snug, you won't have as much to do when you're going to, with the wrench, to do this. Now if you have a, like I said, if you have a very small ratchet, an 8mm ratchet, then you can probably get in here with a ratchet and do it that way too. But
Well, they do make a ratchet wrench that
yeah,
might work.
yeah, and you could do that too. All right, so that's in there, nice and snug, nice and flush. Everything looks good. All right, so now we're gonna try this without putting any oil on here, any lubricant. I've done a bunch of these, so I might be able to do this without having too much trouble. But what I would recommend you do is, if you do have any issues, when we go to try to tuck this back underneath this rubber, sometimes what you'll have is that it will tuck in all the way to about here. And then it's gonna wanna try to, this fender is gonna try to catch this rubber, and it'll end up trying to almost cut the end of this piece of the rubber off over here. So if you lubricate this, that will help it slide underneath. Now, I've had some other people, we did a video similar to this a long time ago, and I had some other people say, oh, you could put a piece of kite string or something like that in here and then pull it out. I found that I did try that, and I did find that it didn't really work so great. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try it just like this now, okay? So you start over in this corner, and you're pressing it down, right? And you're gonna pull out like this just a little bit. Okay, and I basically got my finger underneath here between the body and the fender, and I'm pushing down. Okay, and then I'm gonna get it right to here. You can see there's a little bit of gap here now because I had kind of tweaked the fender a little bit. I'm gonna go down like that, and you can see right there, it caught it just a little bit, right? So I should be able to get that to come back out like that, okay? And then at that point, we're tucked back into place, and we just got to put our screws back in.
You can hear the drill kind of make that gripping noise, right?
Clutching, yeah, that's the clutching. Alright guys, we're done on the passenger side, but we're going to come over to the driver's side, which is a little bit harder. And then, like I was saying, on the other side, you always see everybody showing this on YouTube, how to take that side apart. They don't show you this side. It's really not that much harder, except you've got to take this door apart, right? And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the door itself off the hinge, because there is, with the door cover still on, there's not enough room for the fender to move back. So we have to move it. Now the door cover itself just pops off the hinge. Just grab it nice and firm and pull out, just like that, and it will remove, okay? And we're just gonna set that off to the side. It just pops right back on. So it's not hard, okay? But that gets this out of the way, okay? Now I'm gonna have Terry go ahead. You still have the same 4 screws up here on the top. You still got the same 3 screws here, but you also have 3 screws right here that we need to take loose. Now guys, one other thing I want to point out, if you're looking at the instructions on this, what comes in the kit, it talks about removing fuel pressure and all this other stuff. Doing what we're doing, by doing it this way, we're not having to take the fuel lines loose, we're not having to take the back bumper off the car. I mean, if you follow the instructions exactly the way they are, you'd tie a whole day up doing this. And literally, we are almost doing this in real time. Okay, so just so you know, it's a lot easier than it looks, but you do kind of need to know what you're doing a little bit. So, okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to do the exact same things we did on the other side, and we're just going to lift this up like this. We're going to pull this, and it's going to pull out. All right, so now we've got this part free. Now, guys, I was talking to you on the other side about how there's possibly can be glue up inside here, and you can see right here. This took a little bit of pulling, but you can see some of the glue that's right here. Now I got lucky that this really didn't hold it in place. Next thing we're going to do is the exact same thing we did before. We're just lifting this up. And you can see here we've got all our screws loose, so that allows the fender to come out, right? So I'm going to use my little hockey puck over here. If you've got a friend that'll help you, you can just have them help you. Get that out like that.
Because I'm not going to help.
That's right. So we got, and Terry's helping me anyhow, but this, I'm just showing this as an example. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen up these two screws over here, these two nuts. So guys, before we get all these bolts out, I wanted to be able to have you see what it looks like up inside there. You can see that there's a bolt there and one over here. There's one way back in the back. I don't know if the camera can see that one. It's way back over here. Yeah. But anyway, you can see it's very tight quartered there. All right, so we've got our front bolts here loose. Now we're going to just go ahead and get this one in the back. And this one is always the hardest of the three. All right, we'll get that one out. Another quick loose. Get that out. It comes right out. Okay. And then just go ahead and reverse the process. Like so. Remember, like I said, make sure that those little clips are in there. This is nice and smooth. And then you can just start putting your nuts back on. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to tuck this back under. Now Terry's got this right here giving me a little bit of leverage to bow this a little bit, because this is the piece of the rubber that's going to want to stick, and it's going to try to get stuck on the fender. So we're going to try to bow the fender down just a little bit here. Just like that. You see right there? You see that, John? See how we got it underneath there like that? Now at that point, I can get my finger out of the way, and this will just tuck in, and then Terry can pull his little piece out, and we're good. Okay? If you don't pay really close attention to this part right here, this little piece of rubber will get pinched, and you'll end up cutting it, and then it'll be flopping around, so you want to be very careful. Okay? All right, so now at this point, Terry's just going to put the screws right back into here and into the door jamb and into the gas door, and then the last thing we'll do is slide the gas door itself back on, and you're done. The last thing we have to do is just put the gas door back on. Again, it just slides on. You can see right here, the little guides are right there, and you just get it back in place. Slide it in place like that. It's locked. Close the door. You're good to go. So that's all there is to it. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful and informative. And then when it comes time that you want to put Z06 vents in your C7, you'll have no problem doing it. If you guys are in this area and you don't want to do this, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. I'll put that information on the screen below so you can get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to take care of it for you. So guys, just want to thank you again for subscribing, for watching the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you'll be alerted of our next uploads. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Hello everyone, I'm just stopping in, Anita from New Jersey, but here having some good time with my granddaughter in Maryland today. I just want to stop in and say, hey, I am new to the Corvette family, and I am so excited and enjoying my beautiful sassy #1. And I just want to say to you all, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Corvette channel, because